Hello and welcome to the Genesis Edge product line video series. My name is Charles Johnson, lead trainer and technical engineer at Lynxspring. And today we're going to be talking about Modbus integration. To me, I think Modbus integration is extremely polarizing. Some people either really love it or some people absolutely hate it. Modbus has been around since 1978, and it was created by Modicon. It's royalty free, which is why a lot of industrial applications use it. However, from manufacturer to manufacturer, it's not very consistent. So when you're going to be doing any kind of Modbus integration, I feel that it's really important to call the manufacturer, get the proper documentation, and ask the questions that you need to ask. Today we're going to be doing a very basic Modbus integration. It's actually going to be a meter using Modbus TCP, which is the IP communication version of Modbus. There's also Modbus RTU, which uses the async or Modbus async module. But today we're just going to be doing TCP, and maybe later on in another video we'll do an RTU integration. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand my controller. I'm going to expand my config space and go to drivers. Now, I'm actually not going to open up the Modbus palette. The reason why I'm not going to here is because Modbus you actually can't discover. It's a manual process. And since with this integration, there isn't anything that I actually need to bring in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the driver from my driver manager. I'm going to right click on my driver's network and go to Views Driver Manager. And now I'm going to select New. And I'm going to scroll down till I see a Modbus TCP network. And select OK. And I'm just going to keep it named the same. And now I'm going to go ahead and double click on my Modbus TCP network. From here, I'm going to select New and select Modbus TCP device. The number to add is 1 and the starting address is 1. Now, I'm going to name this Power Meter 01 because that's exactly what I have here. And I'm going to keep everything else the same except for my IP address. I'm going to put the IP address of the device that I have. And I'm going to keep the port number 502. By default, 502 is the port that a Modbus TCP device communicates under, but please make sure that that is open in the firewall. And I'm going to select OK. Now, when you bring it up, the first thing it says is socket status closed. Well, you want to go ahead and right click and click ping to make sure that this status socket stays open for at least 30 seconds. And we know that if at least stays open for 30 seconds, that we're properly communicating to the device, and we're going to be able to bring in our points. Now, again, remember, everything we're going to be doing in Modbus is manually adding some points or manually adding devices. Again, there's no discovery process here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now. And you see it stayed open for roughly about 30 seconds, which is what we were looking for. And so I'm going to double click my points container on my power meter. And I'm going to create a new folder because I've created a folder everywhere else. And I'm going to name this folder control. I'm going to go ahead and double click this folder to bring up the point manager of the folder. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and add 5 points here. So I'm going to go to New. And I'm going to choose what I'm going to add. I'm not going to make any points writable here. I'm just going to be doing numeric. So there are 4 types of points in Modbus. You have coils, which are your Boolean writable points. You have then your discrete inputs, which are um, which are a read only, so like digital inputs. Then we have input registers, which are your numeric points or your analog points. And then we have holding registers, which can be read or writable. So that'd be your numeric writable here. So primarily we deal with a lot of Boolean and numeric. However, if we needed to break out specific bits of a point, we can do that here too. And same thing here with numeric bits. But we're going to do 5 numeric points. Now, the starting address is going to be either Modbus, hex, or decimal. And again, this is actually based on the what the manufacturer does, and even at times what device the manufacturer is making. They may not do Modbus the same for even across devices. So again, it's really important to talk to the manufacturer about your Modbus integration. Now, they're not going to know anything about Niagara. Well, correction. Most of them will not know anything about Niagara. However, they will absolutely know about Modbus. And as long as you know what questions to ask in Modbus, you should be able to get the answers that you need. So my point here is actually going to be all decimal, and I'm going to start with address 10. And I'm going to make them all the integer type for now. And the thing that I want to do first is I want to highlight them all, because they're all actually going to be input registers or input register types instead of holding. If they're holding, it's actually considered to be a 32-bit register, and it'll actually do two 16-bit registers. But in this case here, we're going to do input, so we're only reading one 16-bit register at a time. Okay, so now input 10 or numeric point 10 is going to be something called demand. And with demand, I'm going to change the facets to power and kW. Now, you may ask how I know this, how I know exactly where to look for. Well, it takes quite a bit of time to actually remember. I actually have a spreadsheet of every unit that I've had to do, and so sometimes I have to look it up there. But as of right now, KW is stuck in my head pretty quickly. Now, numeric point 1 or 11, that's going to be consumption. And that facet is going to be energy, kW per hour. Now the next 3, I'm going to change those facets right away. They're all going to be volts. So this is now going to be electrical potential. And I'm going to select volt. And now I'm going to do volts A, volts B, and volts C. And select OK. So now we see every single point here. But I'm going to add a couple tags here. And the thing that I like to do here with my tags, I'm going to right click and go to Views Tag Manager. And I'm going to bring in all my points. Well, my demand's already there. And accidentally did that, so I'm going to delete those. I'm going to bring these here. So the first one I'm going to add is I'm going to go to Haystack. And I'm going to select area. And it's going to ask me for a value, and I'm going to just say 10,000. Now, the reason why I'm adding this tag here for the area, effectively what you can do is that's actually the square footage of the building or the area of the building that I want to look for. So if you had multiple meters that served that took readings from various square footages, you can actually put that in there, and then using your NeQual which we talked about in our tagging video, you can actually find a function to actually bring everything up. So now that they're all there, for demand, I'm going to do, let's see here. I don't think there is demand. I believe there is energy. Consumption, I'm also going to do energy. And for volts, I'm actually just going to go ahead and select volt. Okay, so I've got my tagging. I've got my points communicating. And again, just to make sure that they're still communicating here, select control. And I've got my demand here. Now, some of these look there. Yep, okay, that all looks good for here. I actually reset my meter, so it actually is taking brand new readings for my demand and my consumption. But that is it for the Modbus integration. Again, a very simple one here, but just a couple, things. Again, I've already said it a few times, but please make sure that you find the proper documentation, and please make sure that if you have any questions, call the manufacturer, and they should be able to help you out with any Modbus related questions, and then you can take those answers and then apply them to your Modbus integration. Well, that's all I have for today, and have a great one.